Hi, this is Bea from Sorcery Soap, and today we're going to make logs. And part of this was inspired, I've made them before, we'll put it that way. I've made them years ago, many times. And part of this was inspired by working on a video that is called How to Make Barrels. And so if you can see this, let's see, it's sort of a variegated and striated, meaning there's lines in it of different colors. I put a dark, here's the dark brown, which is the dark chocolate brown, milk chocolate brown or lighter version of that, and gold. This is the light gold in here. And I just roll each one. And so you can see, I'll link the video so you can see how I did that with the barrels so I don't have to repeat myself. And anyway, so I made this right here so you can see how it is. And we're gonna make these little logs, and I'll show you how that is. And I'm going to also show you how to put some mushrooms on that. So just give it a cut. You don't have to wrap it while you're working with it, because it's okay for it to firm up a bit, because this is essentially the shape that you want anyway. So this one, I want the top, let's see, I want the top to be more lines than that. So you want to press some lines in like wood. And remember, it's just soap, so we're kind of just, we don't have to commit to the story, we just have to barely tell the story. It's all going to wash away anyway, so there's that. You can be as detailed as you want, and then there's, I use a different one to make some different lines in it so that it looks more like wood. Okay, like that. There's your first log. And you can put more details in it. So this one here, that one looks like how it's going to set. So then I'm going to sort of open it up a bit in here on this side. You know how some logs are hollowed out. Okay, ooh, just smashed it. No worries. Like that. On the other side, I'm going to make rings in it. So I happen to have these little rings. I'm always looking for shapes, and I can't even tell you. I'm pretty sure I got them on Amazon. How I found them, I don't know. But if I can find the link, I'll put it in the thing. There's little tiny shapes, and so I don't want it to be sharp like that. I just want to have the implication of rings on the end, and soften everything down with a little bit of water. There. So that's not the most obvious part, right? So we're going to do that. And the shape doesn't have to be perfect, which is the fun part about this, because no two logs look the same in the woods. We don't really have logs out here in the desert. We have dead cactus. So there you go. And you can make them, again, as detailed as you want. So I'm going to leave that for now, so at least you get the general idea. And now we're going to put poison mushrooms on. First I'm going to put a little moss on there. And I chose this sort of more neon green because I want it to be bright. I could make it more realistic, but this is what I want. I want it to be bright. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the green. I don't need much. So now we're going to put a little bit of moss and grass on these. So you can just, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to tuck it inside of there. I think I don't need that much. Tuck it inside of there like that, and then you can do like that, just to give the implication of it, right? I think soap dough is sometimes, like, I like to be specific, but I also like to think about it, soap dough as impressionism, and we're just giving the impression of it because I just want to tell a little bit of a story, even though this is very specific and not blurry, but anyway. Maybe you get what I'm saying. Okay, there's one version of it. And then you could also use this. This is my strainer. For those of you in the group know that I like tea. And soap, it's not going to ruin your strainer. It's just going to, you can wash it. So you just put a little bit on there and push it through. And look at that. And now you've got grass. That's pretty cool, huh? Okay. So then just scrape a little bit off like that, and it'll stick together like that. And then stick it inside there. Let's do another one. Here's one. And I kind of pinch the back side of it a bit. And that's going to come out onto the soap like that. So there you go. That's pretty cool, right? I thought it, when I discovered it, I was like, oh, wow, saves me a lot of time. So this guy, okay, I didn't do anything on the ends of this, so, oops, I got grass on my finger. So let me kind of fix that. A little bit of rings on here. And the nice thing about the wood is that you don't have to be very specific about it. So I'm gonna attach it. Let's see what we want. Attach it like that. That might be a little too flat for right now. I might have squished it a bit too much. And as you know, if you've ever shopped with me, you know that rarely are my soaps exactly the same. There's always some little difference in them. So there's that. And my objective with this is to get a little bit of sameness to each, uniformity in the sense that every bar of soap is going to have a little log on it. It's going to have a little grass on it. It's going to be like this one. I'm probably only going to make one, so there's only going to be one of those, but they'll all have some form of uniformity like that. So the other thing I wanted to do, because I wanted some color, so I'm going to take a little bit of red soap dough like this. And now I've been told, and this is, I learned this through the soap community, that red mushroom tops are poisonous. And then I was sort of like bummed, because those little magic mushrooms that we see in fairy tales they're red topped, but they have little white dots on them, and they're considered poisonous. And then I thought, oh, that could be very interesting. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make some poisonous mushrooms in here, because we know there could be a wolf, or there could be a poisonous mushroom lurking in the woods. But if you know what to look for, it's relatively safe. So, there. Here's my. There. So that's how that will sit on there. Let me smooth that out. I didn't actually have my right tool at hand, so let's smooth that out a bit. Okay. There it is. Okay, I know I made enough noise. Tiny, tiny little one. Right there. Those are much better. And then I can just use these over here. I think it tells an interesting story if you look at it and go, why are there poison mushrooms on there? Now, I'm going to have to let this set for a second before I put on the little white specks on here. And they grow in like little steps sometimes, I know that much. But these mushrooms generally don't grow, as far as I know, on a log. They grow like with tops, with a stem. And so I have these planned for some little snails that I've already made, and I love the toadstools. I love the little tops with the stems. I just really don't like wrapping them when it comes time to make to putting together and preparing soap to ship, because they always break off. Well, they don't always break off if I pack them really, but they have to be I have to be very conscious about it. And the one part of my job I don't really like is wrapping soaps. I like creating them, I like cleaning them up, you know, beveling them. I love all those things. I just don't necessarily like wrapping soaps and heat sealing them. There's only one time of the year I don't mind, and that's in the dead winter when it's nice and cool here. Otherwise, it's like 85 degrees in the house, and getting a heat gun out, I'm just not particularly happy about that. Anyway, so let me see if I can get these little white specks on there and show you how that works. So I try to make the tops of my soap as easy as I can so that I can just heat shrink them, plastic wrap shrink them, and package them, so I don't have to fiddle with them anymore. And so they will show up at your door exactly like I showed you online, because that is the last thing I want, is for you to be disappointed. So this is the tool. Maybe this tool. See, so you don't have to commit to just tiny little balls of it. Just put a little indication of it. So here's my question. Is it better to have perfectly round dots on here and have them be much bigger than I would like? Or is it better to have little dots like this? Oh gosh, I didn't know if you were on, I was on the screen here. Or better to have like little flecks like this and much smaller. See, and then, so there you go. So now you have some logs with poison mushrooms on them. And just that, so, okay, I don't know how long I've been doing this, 9 minutes I've been doing this video. So I showed you how to do all this. And then you put this on top of your soap. You don't have to put anything else on, just put this little piece right there on top of your soap. To me, that makes a very lovely soap. Now I'm gonna add something else to it and probably do a little woodland scene or something. Because why? Because I have more time than sense. But I'm just saying that's not super complicated, and I think it would be a very lovely soap, very thoughtful soap. And you know, a couple years ago, somebody said to me, I did not know this woman, and that was which was so lovely, because you know, when people you know say nice things to you, you always think, oh, maybe they're just being nice, you know, maybe they're being kind to me, which is cool, you know. I love that too. But I didn't know this woman, and she wrote me and said thank you for showing her about soap dough, because she did some embellishments on her soaps for Christmas that year. She didn't do all of her soaps with embellishments, just a couple special soaps. And she said she sold more soap that year than any other year before, and that to me made me very happy. Not just because, you know, she liked it and she liked what she was doing, but because she actually, you know, had success in her life because of her creative endeavor, and that was really the point and really made me happy. So there you go. I hope this really helps. Have a great day. Okay, bye.